ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਟੀਵੀ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੀ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ। ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਿ ਬਰਨਬੀ ਸਾਊਥ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜ਼ਿਮਨੀ ਚੋਣ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੋਣ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ 25 ਫਰਵਰੀ ਨੂੰ VOTING ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਬਰਨਬੀ ਸਾਊਥ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਲਗਾਤਾਰ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਪੂਰੇ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਕੈਂਪੇਨ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਚੋਣ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰ ਜਾਰੀ ਹੈ। ਇਸੇ ਤਹਿਤ ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਪੀਪਲਸ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਆਫ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਤੋਂ Laura-Lynn Thompson ਮੌਜੂਦ ਨੇ। First of all, we welcome TV Punjab.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here with you. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you so much. And how's your campaign going on?
The campaign is wonderful. I have been really blessed as I've been out door knocking. I'm so surprised. The other day we were knocking on a door and the guy's eyes lit up and he called his wife and he told us that they've been watching everything online and they love our message, the People's Party message. And he said he was NDP, but he doesn't believe in their stand anymore. And what have they done? And he said he is 100%, him and his wife, joining with the People's Party of Canada because they like lower taxes. And also, he pointed out that he says some people say that you're a racist, and he says we know it's not true. What we advocate for is safe borders, and we believe in this principle for all Canadians. Maxime Bernier believes in putting Canadians first. That's all Canadians. All of us who are here deserve a land and a country that is safe.
Okay. And what are the main issues you think you're raising which are different from other candidates?
Well, certainly that we want to lower taxes. Maxime Bernier is a very, very smart man, and so he's come up with a plan where from $0 to $15,000, these are people really struggling in our nation. They're not making a lot of money, so they don't have to pay any taxes. We're going to help them until they have, better footing. And then from $15,000 to $100,000, only 15% flat tax. It's going to make it so easy to get your taxes done. And people have been talking about this for years, but one thing I love about Maxime Bernier is that if he says it, he's going to do it. And he is a man of integrity and principles. And he was tired of the corruption that was going on in his party, the Conservative Party. And sometimes when parties get too big, that's when they lose their focus on the grassroots people. That's what's happened in Canada. All of the big parties, too much money, too much corruption. We believe that we want to make government smaller in people's lives so that they can be free and live the lives that they want to live. They can worship in freedom. They can have their conscience in freedom, and they don't have to be ruled by other people's ideologies.
And you think now people do not have freedom?
I think that we're losing freedom. For instance, just last year, Trudeau, he had this thing. It was called the Canada Summer Jobs Program. And in order for people to get an intern that is paid for by the government for the summer, they had to check off boxes. Like they had to say, we are pro-abortion. We are pro-LGBTQ rights. We are this and that. All of the liberal ideologies. Some people don't believe that. But because of Trudeau's belief, everyday people could not access their right to government-sponsored interns for summer camps, for churches, for all kinds of different great organizations. They couldn't access it because they're not willing to sign off like that. In Canada, we're free. We can believe in abortion or believe in pro-life. We can believe in different things or not. And we should have that right to be able to stand with our own conscience. That is being lost. So yes, I believe that freedom is under attack.
Okay. And how and why you chose to be with PPC?
Well, my whole life, when I started to run for Member of Parliament, I was with the Conservative Party. And when I tried to run for the Conservative Party, they did not stand with me because the people who chose me to run as a candidate, they said, she's star candidate. She's done television for many years because I've been a TV host. She's done media, and she's a writer, and she's a speaker. So this is a good candidate. But the Conservatives, they were concerned because I was standing against the gender fluid ideology in schools. And this ideology is teaching all children in British Columbia that they can change their gender, that a little boy can be a little girl. And I didn't want anyone to ever tell my children or my grandchildren that they can change their gender. Some people believe this. I don't. Millions of Canadians do not believe that, and I got upset about it. So when I started to be outspoken about this, the conservative says, "Oh, like of course they believe with me, but they don't want trouble from different factions of our nation," and so they did not stand with me, and they didn't want to run a controversial candidate. But I believe that we have to be able to stand with courage in this nation. Not everyone believes that, but of course in Canada, when you are an adult, you can be gay or lesbian or trans or heterosexual even, but you cannot tell other people's children how to believe. And I got angry about that. Maxime Bernier, he asked me about it, and we began to discuss because I couldn't run with the Conservative Party in 2 ridings. Then Maxime Bernier came to the forefront, and I wondered, would this be the courageous man that will stand with me? And indeed, Maxime Bernier said that he would support my candidacy because he believes in freedom, freedom of religion, freedom of conscience, and that is what's different about our party.
Main issue raised by NDP is housing, and what do you think on that?
Right. I think that housing is very, very important. But do you know, this is a provincial issue. If Jagmeet Singh wants to keep raising the issue of housing, why in 15 years has the NDP party not dealt with it? Why is the new candidates coming in and saying, "Oh, what are you going to do about housing?" Well, what has the NDP done about housing in 15 years? It's a provincial issue. So it's a little bit hypocritical. You know, I believe that we do have to care for our citizens. If we will lower taxes, abolish the capital gains tax, repeal the carbon tax, we want to take away the carbon tax. We want to build pipelines so that people are employed and so that we have good resources and so that Canada is a strong and functioning and, you know, that we have prosperity here in this nation. And these are things that will help all Canadians. So housing is a big deal, but they better fix it. You know, they've had a long time to fix it. They haven't fixed it. And so, of course, we'll step in and put all measures in that we can. But I'm dealing with really big issues. We have to keep our borders safe. We don't want illegal border jumpers coming into our land. We want people that we know who they are, that are safely vetted, so that every mother can feel safe that her children will be okay in Canada and be safe from any harm.
As you mentioned, pipeline issue. Are you in favor of making pipeline?
I am in favor of making the pipelines. There is no better way to transport our oil and gas than through a pipeline. We don't want it to be on a train that can derail, you know, and cause a lot of trouble. We want to have our resources put to the best use. So far, we can only trade with the United States, but if we have our pipelines in place, we can trade with the world and we can make a difference, and this will be good for every single Canadian.
And what about that? People raising concern for the environment.
Right. I think we have to be very careful of the environment. But if you look at the plans, sometimes they go underground, you know, so that the animals and stuff that might migrate will be taken care of. Every opportunity to keep our land and the resources safe and not encumbered by this are being taken. It's not fair to say that it's going to be a terrible thing for the environment.
Okay. As it was like a political tradition in Canada that if any candidate who is a leader of a party is running for the seat, then other parties do not give him competition or what. And but this time they did not follow the same tradition.
Yes, I have heard of this tradition. I don't know what to say because the main parties have not adhered to it. I can only say that maybe they want to give Jagmeet a good run for his money, you know, and they certainly, maybe they'd like to see change. And also, everyone's a little desperate for a seat right now. Trudeau, he's got all this scandal going on with SNC, you know, the corporation where there seems to be a big problem. He is up to his eyeballs in corruption. And so maybe he just didn't want to give Jagmeet the opportunity to get a seat and then to be in Parliament. So they wanted to fight it. You know, I know with the People's Party, We're new on the block, so we are taking every possible opportunity. We believe we have the best government. That's why many NDP, many people who believe in traditional family values do not support what's going on in the schools. They are coming with me. Many of the Sikh and the Muslim and the Christian voters in our nation are really standing with me because they know I'm a fighter. I'll tell the truth, and I will be courageous where others will not be.
And anything else you want to share, which I left to ask?
I want honor to be paid to Marissa Shen, who gave her life. She was 13 years old and she died in Central Park. That's a park I grew up, spending a lot of time in when I was young. And Marissa Shen is a beautiful and a wonderful girl who was, her life was taken by a refugee. And I do believe that we have to notice that this life was taken because in Ottawa, not very many people are talking about it. It's like it's forgotten because Trudeau said that he would be responsible personally for anyone who was harmed, and now he's gone very silent, and people are hurt and wounded by that.
Thank you so much for sharing information.
Thank you. Thanks for having me today.
ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁਣਿਆ, Laura-Lynn ਨੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਵੱਖੋ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਿਊਜ਼ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਨੇ। ਇਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਲਗਾਤਾਰ ਦਿਖਾਉਂਦੇ ਰਹਾਂਗੇ ਬਰਨਬੀ ਸਾਊਥ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਸ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਕੈਂਪੇਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਤੇ ਚੋਣਾਂ ਦੇ ਰਿਜ਼ਲਟ ਤੱਕ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਉਂਦੇ ਰਹਾਂਗੇ ਅਪਡੇਟਸ।